Hola mis amigas, welcome to the first PrepTober vlog in my series about Nanowrimo 2020. I'm going to be vlogging throughout both PrepTober and through Nanowrimo. I don't know if you can hear the breeze that's blowing right now. It's really nice out here. But I actually am going to try plotting in a happy notes, which I mentioned in the kind of kickoff to Nanowrimo video that I did last week. But in this video in particular, I don't yet get to plotting. That's going to have to come in a future video. In this video, what I work on is coming up with a plan for Nanowrimo, where I'm going to track like my word count and stuff like that. I also talk in this video about some more details about the story itself. There will probably be information about the story scattered throughout all of my different Nanowrimo 2020 vlogs. I'm going to be keeping certain information secret, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to tell you the actual plot, but I will be sharing snippets to help you understand kind of what I'm working with, and perhaps it will inspire you in your Nanowrimo or other writing project. This video was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed using the happy notes, and I hope you enjoy seeing me plan my Nanowrimo. Okay, experimenting with a different camera angle and background today. I have just a short little while this morning before I gotta go downstairs and watch our church video with my family, but I decided I wanted to go ahead and open up this. This is my Happy Notes, which is basically the notebook version of the Happy Planner, and it's what I am going to try plotting and planning my Nanowrimo project in. Technically, it's still September, so the official PrepTober hasn't started yet, but I'm going to get started planning anyway, because the more I am prepared, the more likely I am to reach that 50,000 word count. Now, I'm actually not even completely sure I can do a 50,000 word count. To my knowledge, I have never written a book that is 50,000 words. Now, the project that I was finishing before I started my Nanowrimo project that I wanted to have done first, and I have finished, thankfully, is handwritten. And it's the longest handwritten manuscript I've ever finished, so there's a chance that one might be 50,000 words, but we'll have to wait and see. To my knowledge, I have not yet written anything that is 50,000 words. So it's going to be a challenge, and I need to work on coming up with everything I can for the story now rather than later. I do have the preliminary plot written out. My brother actually wrote it out for me because he kind of helped me come up with some of the things and helped me work out some kinks. And I'm really excited to use Happy Notes, Happy Notebook. I, this year, have been using a mini Happy Planner. I'll go grab it. This is my 2020 Happy Planner. It's the mini size, and it's actually a faith one, so it actually has little spots for you to do like stuff about what you're reading in the Bible each day instead of a planner slide, and I've really, or planner slide, a planner space, and I've really enjoyed this, and I really love the layout of the Happy Planner. I've also added a habit tracker on some paper that you can insert, because the thing about a Happy Planner is these discs allow you to insert pages if you want to. At some point, I'll probably do a separate video about how I track like my habits and my writing time, and I'll give you a little peek at my habit tracker, but that's not for today's video. Today's video we are talking about Happy Notes. I ordered this not until I had finished my other project. I wanted to wait and save it as a reward. Go figure, of course, they have a 25% off site-wide sale literally the morning after I order it. Oh well, it only would have been like a $2.50 difference, but it's still a sale. Oh well. So, let's open this up. I'm very excited. I probably won't have time to actually do much of the plotting this morning before I gotta go watch the church live stream, but that's okay. While I'm trying to cut this open, whoops, perhaps I can give you a little bit of background for what you need to know about my Nanowrimo project. So my Nanowrimo project, I'm not going to give away too much, because even though I obviously don't know yet how it will turn out, if it will turn out good enough to publish or not, I just prefer to keep my stories as secret as possible. But I will go ahead and let you know a little bit. I hope this isn't too loud. I have not yet decided what I'm going to refer to it as to you all. I know some people come up with like an alias for their writing projects, or they'll like just use the letters, the beginning letters of the words, but the problem is that my beginning letters are D and D. And D is like the name of an interactive video game or something, so that wouldn't really work. So I'm not sure what I'm going to refer to it as yet. I'll probably just for now refer to it as my Nanowrimo project. So let's ooh, bubble wrap. Big bubble wrap. Clever, they're showing me the back side so I can't see it yet. Da-da-da. Should we look at it together? Be filled with wonder. This is the boho. Classic Happy Notes. There's some different dividers. Oh, I like this. I want flowers in my hair, peace in my soul, and love in my heart. I like how the dot grid paper, I don't know if you can see, but there's little stars there in where it meets the binding. I'll probably at some point try to get some lined paper to put in here. I didn't think to try ordering that whenever I ordered the notebook. Probably because I figured I'd just get it at Hobby Lobby. But yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So, bring out the washi tape and the stickers. I actually happen to have the matching, they're stickers that kind of fold up and there's a little list to this that I originally got or received as a gift for my planner, but I didn't really end up liking them in my planner. Although you can see I have one of them. Make sure I'm not showing any personal information. Nope. So I have one here. It just flips up and you can write a list there. So, yeah, because I like boho stuff. I really do. And I like stars. There's one I almost got that had stars on it that said you were made to shine, but I didn't like the dividers as much. So, yeah. Let's get cracking! Okay, so I hope I'm not creating too much of a shadow, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some pages with washi tape to kind of create some different spaces for different aspects of my Nanowrimo project. I need to make sure I do things like plan and also do things like the character arcs. And maybe while I'm working on this, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the story because I realized I didn't do that a second ago. I just told you I didn't know what to call it yet. Well, I know what to call it, but I don't know what to refer it as. So I'll probably use these tabs that it gives me to divide it into something along the lines of probably things like, you know, the planning, like my calendar, my rewards, like the timing aspect, a calendar. In fact, maybe that's the first thing I'll do. Maybe the first thing I'll do is I'll create a calendar with the days of the month of November, or maybe November and October. And that way I can track, like, you know, my progress and things like that. And I'll use washi tape to kind of create headers. I actually have not really used washi tape before. I mean, I've used like a tiny bit of it in my little thing that I use to track my social media stats, but I've never really used it like in this kind of a way before. So let's get cracking. It kind of matches. I like micron pens for journaling. I don't really like the really tiny ones that much, but I like the 0.05 and it comes in all different colors. So let's start with some washi tape. This is going to be October. Okay, welcome back. It's about time I go so we can watch our church video, but I just wanted to show you my October month spread. I'm actually very pleased with this. I love the way the washi tape looks. I love how, like, when you put it on, it's so papery and thin that, like, it just looks like it was always there. At first I didn't like the lettering, the purple lettering for the word October, but then I created some little black thin letters. I don't know if you can see in the corner, and then I liked how it looked. And then of course I added some little dots. Sorry, my markers are rolling all over the place. Some little dots, almost kind of like sparkles or stars or something. And then I used the green at the top and for the September letters that overlap and the bottom. And I had the hardest time figuring out how to make this because there's 7 days in a week and I didn't want to have a day like that was divided by the binding, so I left this space over here open. And probably for November I won't put these lines here. I'll just leave this as like a to-do, or maybe I'll use this for a weekly to-do. But this will allow me to plan, like, for example, I know we're gonna have to take a trip. That will potentially affect my writing, and this will also allow me to, you know, write out like what days I work and what shifts, so that way I know, like, you know, don't expect to do a bunch of plotting the night that you work until 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So I also added a little Bible verse up here in the corner, that Bible verse just came to mind and I liked it, so I put it in. So yeah, I'm very pleased. I'll use a different color scheme for November, but I like this a lot. So doing good so far, praise the Lord. Okay, so now that I am working on the month of November, you might like me to tell you a little bit more about my story. So I already started doing some drawings for the story of characters and things like that. I'm not sure how many of those I'm going to show to y'all. Uh-oh, I missed a little corner there. Oh well, this should be okay. But I had done more of a Renaissance sort of vibe in the characters, which is fine. And I tried to add, there was almost like a slight sort of pirate vibe, because a lot of this story, or at least a central part of the story, is taking place on a ship, and one of the main characters, he's a sailor, at least at this point in my creation of the story. So I am currently figuring out how I want the aesthetic of the story to be. And I thought, well, why not just mash together your favorite historical eras together and create almost like maybe a medieval Renaissance vibe, and also perhaps, you know, your favorite random pirate, seafaring, I don't really like pirates, but seafaring stuff, and maybe even some steampunk vibes, because I kind of like a little bit of the steampunk vibe, kind of the Victorian thing, made a little bit more fantasy-ish. I know nothing about steampunk, but maybe just some slight steampunk Victorian vibes, whatever you want to call it. And so maybe try doing that. And I thought, well, maybe I could just do like, you know, where maybe I have somebody with kind of a very colorful Renaissance jerkin who has a cutlass and a wide, almost steampunkish belt. I don't know how I'm going to incorporate all the aspects, but it sounded like fun. And the other thing I could do too was like, maybe I could have where my older character dresses more Renaissance-ish, and maybe that's more like the old-fashioned-y vibe. Like maybe the new and cool, progressive thing is more the steampunk vibe, because it goes in line with, you know, all the new technology they're coming up with, even though this obviously wouldn't actually be during the Industrial Revolution. That's kind of the vibe of steampunk. So, you know, just maybe world build all three kind of mashed together, and then of course the girl that's more from the, like, there's dragons and she's kind of like knows the dragons, or, you know, more from like my really fantasy-ish place. Maybe the dragons, like when they shed their scales, like she has scale armor, things like that. So then I could create very identifiable styles and fashions, if you will, and that would be a way, kind of almost like an identifier of each group of people. And each kind of region will have its own like type of culture. And even though you won't see the characters, you know, unless I decide to include drawings, there'll still be descriptions of them in the narrative, so that'll be good. And, you know, world building isn't always my strong suit, so having like some really identifiable like kind of cultures would be a really good thing for me to have that I don't always have, because sometimes whenever I'm doing my normal, you know, fantasy fairy tale world building, they're kind of all the same. All the cultures are kind of the same. There's not much variety. Oh man, I love how this one turned out. I just love the like galaxy vibes because of this washi tape that says dream on, and it's like the galaxy. It's so pretty. I used washi tape right here for that part, and then I kept with the kind of the glittery stuff around November. I didn't get the days quite even. I think it's because the washi tape, like over here in October, I didn't have washi tape up there. It was just a line. And over here, that made me end up with smaller boxes at the top, bigger boxes at the bottom. And then I used pink for the days in December, the overlap days, instead of green. I haven't found the right verse yet for the top, but I'm trusting I will. And I'll put it there whenever I find it. So yeah, I like this one even better than the one for October. And I added this part for just writing different things. So yeah, I love this. Praise the Lord. Because it is officially the first day of PrepTober, I was working on a kind of place where I can have like a to-do list. I need some way to organize what I'm going to be doing at what time, so I can try to figure out like how fast I need to be going, especially for PrepTober, because
PrepTober, it's not a word count goal. It's just you have to get the different aspects of the story, like character profiles, story beats, world building. Those are probably the 3 main things that I need to work on right now.
Okay, so I am super happy with how planning my NaNoWriMo has gone so far. So I decided to sit down and work particularly on the planning aspect, like my word count goals, where I'm going to put those. So I haven't really come up with much for October because I don't really have specific dates for certain things, although I may need to go in and add dates later if I'm finding I'm just not getting as much plotting done as I need to. But it is only the 1st of October, so I have plenty of time. So I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. November, I left the calendar plain. I did write Thanksgiving in World Kindness Day because, hey, World Kindness Day, it's nice. And I want to leave this clean because I like a clean calendar. Obviously, you have to write, when you are going to do things, but that's part of the thing that I was struggling with. In my research about, how to be successful in NaNoWriMo, I have heard it repeatedly said to make sure you plan around days where you're going to be busy. Unfortunately, I don't know my work schedule until the week before. So I can't plan, okay, I know I'm going to be opening this morning, so I can't write that morning. But the thing I figured is that I basically just need to probably plan on writing even on the days that I work, regardless of which shift I work, just find time to write that day. Because the reality is I just can't plan around writing every day that I work because that would be a lot of days. So we come over here to my PrepTober checklist. I had a hard time figuring out what exactly to put here, so you can see I've got plenty of extra room, so I hope to think of more specific tasks to give myself. And then I also made sure to make a to-do list of things that I want to get done in October before NaNoWriMo, so I'm not having to do them while I am trying to do NaNoWriMo, and I may add things to that list as well. I really like the way the lettering turned out up here. So now we come to NaNoWriMo Goals. And what I decided to do was put my goal date and finish date for every 5,000 words on this page. Some of my stickers got a little messed up. And then that way I can track, I have a goal date for getting this many words done. What is that date? And I may put that on the calendar page later. And then, of course, halfway there, you did it just because that's nice. And then over here, I haven't figured out exactly how I want to reward myself for hitting every 10,000 words. Ooh, I need to trim that edge off. But I figured I would at least make a space for it, and I really love how this lettering turned out. At first, I actually really didn't like this lettering because the pink letters were just not matching the letters everywhere else. But then I went over them with these little scribbly letters, and it looks really cute. And so that's one of the beautiful things about lettering, is that if you make something you don't like, there are a lot of options for you to change it into something you do like. So I am really happy with how this is turning out. Again, I've never done NaNoWriMo, so I don't really know, I don't have experience as far as how to plan everything, but I'm hoping that having specific goals and eventually going in and adding specific dates will really help me, as well as just kind of getting a feel for what all I need to do. And then as far as word count per day is concerned, I plan to track that somewhere along the bottom. I tried to find a sticker that would work, but I didn't have any, so I may either order stickers or I'll just create perhaps a line across, like right here, and then under that line is where I'll track word count. I had some little stickers that were shaped like books for like Bible study, like where you would write the Bible study passage, and I do that in my planner, but I didn't have enough of them in a matching color to do every single day, plus they were pretty big, and I didn't want to take up too much room because I do want to actually write, okay, I work this day, I need to have room for that here. I haven't quite found the right verse yet, but I'm still looking for one. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm not planning on actually starting writing until NaNoWriMo actually starts, of course, but if I come up with any sort of story snippet, I'm going to absolutely try to write that down. In fact, that's one of the things I have here is I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put all those story snippets, because normally story snippets go on a sheet of notebook paper, and I actually do have a sheet of notebook paper right now that had my initial, the initial plot that my brother helped me kind of brainstorm, and then also on the back side there's dialogue and narrative and backstory that I had written down, and I'm actually running out of room on that piece of paper, so I really need to figure this out quick. But I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I am definitely really enjoying using a happy planner, and so I'm guessing in the next couple of videos we will probably be vlogging me actually plotting, as well as perhaps working on more character things. I'm not completely sure yet, but also I'm hoping to do an entire video on world building, because it's going to be so much fun to throw all my favorite historical settings in the blender and grind them up and use that in my story. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm even gonna edit this YouTube video outside, or at least work on it, because it is just like that nice outside. Praise God! Maybe fall is here.